Chapter 8. Knowing is not enough. Anyone can know. The point is to understand. Albert Einstein. Funny enough, we seem to have a lot of knowledge about what a healthy lifestyle should look like. We know we are supposed to drink water, sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, eat 3 square meals a day, and stay away from excessive or addictive behaviors. This, along with the increased pressure of daily life and a never-ending to-do list, creates a less than ideal pattern that affects the way we live our lives. The field of health psychology is overflowing with information on the disconnection between knowing how to live a healthy lifestyle and actually living one. In graduate school, I had the incredible opportunity to study nutrition understanding in children ages 3 to 5 and young adults ages 18 to 25. The children studied were asked to categorize pictures of food as good for me, bad for me, and just okay. Adults were given a 10-question multiple-choice test with right and wrong answers about healthy meals. I expected both children and adults would have a difficult time knowing what was good or bad for them. I based my assumptions on current medical statistics reporting an outrageous number of young children being diagnosed with diabetes and obesity. Adult onset diabetes had to be renamed in the 1990s because many more young children were being diagnosed. It could no longer be justified as a strictly adult disease. As it turns out, 94 of the 94 children and 120 adults studied, a majority got the answers right. This means that children as young as 3 years old know exactly what foods are good and bad for them. And yet the health statistics are staggering in a direction of increasing disease. This made me question everything. I wrongly assumed that if we had such poor diets in America, then people eating that diet must not know the foods that are better foods to eat. I was wrong. A majority of the population knows what not to eat and, in a basic sense, knows what is good to eat. Health statistics in the United States show that most are choosing to make poor health choices. This includes pulling all-nighters, excessive drinking, self-medicating, and pushing ourselves to the brink of complete exhaustion. And we do all this knowing that it is bad. I wasn't the only researcher baffled by this topic. In fact, several researchers have looked specifically at this problem, why we know but still can't do. One reason that has been suggested is that we feel invincible. We do not think that the disease will happen to us. Often we think disease is something that happens to older people, and by the time that I get to that age, medicine will have found a cure. Do you remember being a kid, doing something stupid and your mom yelling, "What were you thinking? You could have killed yourself." Most likely you were thinking you were invincible. You hadn't learned to be scared yet. As we age, we develop new fears. When we are brand new, there's nothing to be afraid of because nothing bad has happened. As we get older, we develop more and more fears, and we lose that invincibility complex. However, something strange happens when it comes to food. There is still a tendency to hold off on getting our health in order until we get older. One really cool thing about the beautifully organized body is that it is consistently regenerating. Each organ and system in the body are working at each moment to make themselves stronger. New cells are being regenerated every second. If we wait to address our health when we get older, we postpone having a healthy and stronger body now. Action steps. Share something you've learned in this chapter with someone you know. Chapter 9, Organs and Systems. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Jim Rohn. In addition to the individual jobs of each organ, they are also responsible for playing a role in the body's systems. Each system in the body plays a distinct role and is associated with various organs and pathways. For instance, the nervous system includes the brain, spinal cord, and all of the nerves associated with those pathways. I could recommend an entire book on each one of these body systems, but for now, here's a brief description of each, paraphrased from dictionary.com. The immune system. The immune system is part of the body that wards off infections and diseases. The immune system is like a little army in your body, always searching for pathogens and helping to save your body from anything that may be harmful to it. The main soldiers in the immune system army are the white blood cells, which produce antibodies to work to get rid of any invaders in the body. In some cases, the immune system gets overstimulated and creates antibodies to itself. Such is the case with autoimmune disease. The job of the immune system is to protect the body from any outside invaders. The primary structures that make up the immune system are the thymus, spleen, lymph nodes, lymph tissue, stem cells, white blood cells, antibodies, and lymphokines. The endocrine system. The endocrine system chemically controls the various functions of cells, tissues, and organs through the secretion of hormones. Dr. Isabella Wentz, in the book Hashimoto's Protocol, shows that hormones can control common issues like weight loss and weight gain, hair loss, mood, energy, sleep, digestion, and more. The organs involved in the endocrine system are the adrenal glands, parathyroid gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, ovaries, pancreas, and testes. Many people who struggle with not being able to gain or lose weight have struggling endocrine organs. For instance, if you deal with low energy upon weight gain, it may be due to low cortisol levels, meaning that there may be an imbalance in the system. Our energy levels, while also dependent on calorie intake, depend on hormone regulation in the endocrine system. It may be surprising to learn that the hormones in the body control more than just mood swings. The skeletal system. The skeletal system is our basic frame and structure. It consists of bones and other connective tissues. This structure protects the internal organs and in the body. It is like the body put all of the most important things, vital organs, inside of a perfectly strong and protective structure. This structure also helps us to navigate our environment as well as hunt, gather, climb, run, walk, and more. A common misconception about the skeletal structure is that as we age, we naturally lose bone density. The body does start to decline if it is not used properly. The old adage, use it or lose it, is true here. If the skeletal system is not protected by consuming or eating proper nutrients, the bone structure does start to decline. However, this does not have to be the case. According to Jonas Friesen, a molecular biologist and stem cell researcher, the skeletal system itself is continuously regenerating, and within about 10 years, the skeletal system completely replaces itself. With an appropriate diet and exercise regimen that includes lifting weights, it is possible to have better and stronger bones as we age. The nervous system. The nervous system is the first thing to develop in utero. The structures involved here are the main hub of the body and all its operations. I like to think of the nervous system as the control room for the rest of the body's organs and systems. The nervous system includes the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. This system is what responds anytime there is a stimulus in the environment. This means anytime you see anything, touch anything, smell anything, taste anything, or move anywhere, your brain, spinal cord, and nerves are interpreting and sending messages as to how you should respond. Take a second and pick up something around you, anything at all, a cup, a pen, your phone. Now put it down and do it again more slowly. This time, pay attention to the shape your hand is making. Your brain has learned the shape your hand needs to make to pick up every object in your environment. Chances are, even if you have never seen the object before, your brain will still deduce its purpose from the shape, size, and other obvious properties, and you'll still be able to successfully pick up the object. This is an action we take for granted every day. Imagine watching a child learn to pick up objects. When my children first learned to feed themselves, and they would make huge claw hands to pick up the frozen peas. It took them about a week to learn that they needed to pinch their fingers together in order to get the best motion from pea to mouth successfully. We learn these things out of survival, but our brain uses all of the information every day to continue to make our lives easier to manage. The circulatory system. The circulatory system is also known as the cardiovascular system. It includes the heart, as well as the arteries, veins, and capillaries. These help to move blood, oxygen, and other nutrients all over the body. The circulatory system is responsible for transporting electrolytes, amino acids, carbon dioxide, and hormones. According to lifescience.com, without the circulatory system, the body would not be able to fight disease, remain in balanced state of pH, or maintain normal body temperature. The respiratory system. The respiratory system includes the nasal passages, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, and lungs. This system is responsible for bringing oxygen into the body and releasing carbon monoxide from the body. One of the best ways our body detoxes itself is through breath. By taking big belly breaths, we allow the body to completely fill with oxygen and then completely release any excess carbon dioxide. The digestive system. The digestive system is a winding set of organs and glands that aid the body in processing and extracting nutrients from all the food that is consumed. The process starts at the mouth and extends through the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine, ending with the rectum and anus. This tunnel of different chambers is a highly sophisticated system meant to maximize our use of nutrients. Each part of the digestive system plays a role. For instance, it is the job of the mouth not only to chew and taste food, but also to create saliva. Inside saliva are digestive enzymes that begin breaking down the food before it even touches the stomach. Inside the esophagus are tiny hair-like villi that are meant to gently push the food down the stomach where a highly acidic environment is waiting to further break down food particles. Each part needs to do its job properly, or pain, gas, reflux, or other symptoms may occur. For example, if we do not properly chew our food, then the saliva hasn't had enough time to break down the food. Then the stomach acid may not be enough to break down the food into smaller parts. This may trigger a response for the body to produce more acid. Once those larger particles get into the small intestine, they may cause gas, bloating, and discomfort. This brilliant series of digestive organs works like cogs spinning in a clock. If they are all properly oiled, other organs involved in the system include liver, pancreas, gallbladder, and appendix. The endocannabinoid system. This system was found only about 20 years ago based on marijuana studies. Researchers found a system that has cell receptors on almost every organ in the body, and its primary job is homeostasis. This means that these cells, endocannabinoid cells, exist in the body only to promote balance, and they exist on almost every organ. All of these organs and organ systems are constantly regenerating, always improving, and always trying to heal and restore. This fact completely blows my mind almost every day. Each night when we go to bed, our body is working on a total reset. Cells are regenerating and new cells are being created, some every hour. Your body and mine is being made brand new every day. Now, don't get me wrong. We do have to do our part too. For so long, I was getting in the way of healing by eating things that were toxic to me, taking supplements that were pushing me further from my goals, and exercising much harder than I could handle because I thought it would bring me more energy. Essentially, for most of my life, I have been getting in my own way and halting my body's attempt to heal, stepping in at all the wrong times with all the wrong things. Each body is different, and each of us will have a separate set of guidelines that best meets our needs. For me, it was a clean food diet, more on this in the next section, exercise in the form of Pilates, yoga, hiking, and a positive belief that I could get better. Organs. I have always wanted a tool that would be able to look directly under my skin and bones at the millions of processes happening just below my ability to detect them. Not only am I fascinated with the body, but I also wanted to know what was happening exactly at the moment when pain and problems arise. Here are a few less than obvious things about our organs. Each part and organ in our body plays a crucial role in its optimal health. Our bodies were not made by mistake. The body is a complicated structure that took millions of years to create. Each part of our body exists for a reason. Each time we were faced with a challenge in our history, we either adapted to it or died trying. Each tiny part of our body works on some level to support other areas. Individuals who experience more than normal amounts of colds or strep throat commonly have their tonsils removed. One reason this procedure is so common is because the tonsils seem to serve little purpose. Naturally, if the tonsils are continually getting infected and do not seem to serve any purpose, then there is no reason to keep them. The problem is research dating back to 1947 by Dr. Royal Lee that shows that our tonsils actually make a blueprint of every pathogen that comes into our body. Those blueprints tell us which invaders are new and which have been there before. In this way, our tonsils act as the very first defense system against parasites. It happens sometimes that by removing organs, we are able to see their purpose. This is similar to how researchers learned about the structures and functions of the brain. We cannot just go poking around in someone's body while saying, I wonder what this does. Instead, researchers have to be creative about how they find out about each function. In 1848, Dr. Harlow, an on-call surgeon, operated on a 25-year-old man. 1948, Dr. John Harlow, an on-call surgeon, operated on a 25-year-old man, had a metal rod blown into the side of his head and out the top. He fully recovered from the injury and had no problem walking and talking just hours after the explosion. Parts of his skull had to be replaced and a rod had to be removed from his brain, and somehow he managed to heal just fine. However, his personality shifted majorly. He no longer had the ability to recognize social cues. Because of this damage in his brain, neurologists were able to see that the part of his brain The damaged part of his brain, the frontal lobe, was in charge of higher order thinking and perception of social cues. Damage and removal of body parts have been instrumental in helping us determine the different functions of each part of our body. Each of our organs plays a role, whether something as small as our tonsils or as large as our gallbladder. Imagine trying to play a board game without the dice. Even this small piece can have a huge impact on the game. All organs need to be supported in their own way in order for them to best do their job for us. Each part of our body needs a different type of nourishment and respect. Stop for a moment and imagine how many things are happening right now. Even as you hear this sentence, maybe your arm is holding a book or a tablet and your eyes are screening the page. Your brain is interpreting information and deciding whether or not to store it. Perhaps you just ate a big meal that your body is digesting and pulling out each and every protein and sugar molecule to be used to create new cells and healing or restoration of old ones. At every conscious and unconscious moment, the body and brain are working to create the best experience for you. In order to do that properly, the body needs support. For example, in order to wake up in the morning, whether you set an alarm or wake up naturally, the body has to go from a sleep state to a wake state. To do that, the body needs to have cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that helps regulate your energy throughout the day. In a normally functioning body, cortisol levels will be higher in the morning and lower before bed. This hormone is primarily produced in the adrenal glands, small triangle-shaped glands that live on top of your kidneys. In order to support the adrenal glands, the body needs proper fats, magnesium, vitamin D, and many more. This is just one tiny organ that most people don't even know exists that needs a ton of support just so that you can get out of bed in the morning. We don't have space in this book to break down every organ and what it does, but there are plenty of anatomy books that do just that. This can get pretty complicated, but the takeaway message here is that each organ in your body has a sole responsibility of keeping you alive, and each one needs support in order to do the best job it can. The whole body works together to form a symbiotic relationship. Even though each part has an individual job and set of responsibilities, each is doing the job for the much larger whole. The body processes are similar to a factory assembly line. Each person on the line is responsible for putting one piece together. That piece has to be perfectly and intentionally cared for because the next 20 more steps depends on that single step. No job is too small and each bolt is extremely significant. This is the same with the body. Each part depends on a job done by another part of the body. If at any point there is a problem down the line, every additional from that point will be weak. This is the way the body works. Sometimes we are quick to judge a part of our body that is expressing need. If our stomach hurts after a meal, we want to blame the stomach for causing pain. If it becomes difficult to have regular bowel movements, we immediately want to blame the digestive tract or colon. Unfortunately, it isn't so easy. This is when my handheld magic microscope would have come in handy. In reality, when our stomach hurts, it could be for any number of reasons. We have to look down the line and see all the areas working together to create the digestive process. Oftentimes, heartburn or acid reflux has nothing to do with the stomach at all. For example, the stomach is just at the end of the assembly line and therefore dealing with all the crooked bolts. I have learned to look at each symptom, ache, and pain in my body as a warning that something down the line isn't working properly. Rather than jumping to the obvious conclusions if my stomach is hurting, I like to think that my body is giving me a clue and giving me a starting place to look. You cannot touch one cell in the body without the whole body knowing. In order for the body to perform all necessary tasks, it needs a way to quickly and efficiently communicate. Like a domino effect, each time one cell in the body is touched, all other cells in the body know about it. For example, in order to quickly save your hand from a hot stove, the cells in your body need to communicate extremely fast with the brain and muscles. Support the organs. If you are not yet blown away by the complexity of the human structure, let me give you a few more facts about the body. The skin is our largest organ, and it is absorbent. That means whatever you put on the outside of your body will be absorbed and processed on the inside of your body as well. This includes things like scented lotions, petroleum-based salves, laundry detergent, and deodorant. Also, the liver is known to do more than 500 jobs, and that is just what we have found so far. The pancreas creates digestive enzymes that will help your body break down food properly. The gallbladder produces bile, which helps with fat breakdown and absorption. Some cells in the stomach have a lifespan of only 1 hour, meaning every hour you could have stronger cells. This is just a fraction of some of the cool things our organs do. If you are struggling with an area of your body, it might benefit you to look up the organ associated with the pain and what types of things you can do to support that area of your body. My client Crystal had been suffering from many health issues since the age of 8, all stemming from a very challenging home life. When I met her, she was 22 years old and already showing signs of multiple autoimmune diseases. Her final straw was dealing with brain fog. She could no longer remember simple things and had major difficulty having conversations with other people. She started to shut down for fear of feeling foolish. When we met, her laundry list of ailments took up more than 2 pages. She had irregular periods, major mood swings, failing memory, widespread chronic pain, insomnia, and hair loss, just to name a few. We started her program off slowly as to not shock her body. By starting with the thyroid, we were able to isolate all of the hormone-related issues and assist in healing thyroid autoimmunity. With only a few simple changes in supporting the organs that were struggling, we were able to dramatically turn her life around in a matter of 2 weeks. She is still working on some smaller issues, but she feels already like a different person. Within 2 weeks, her family and friends were complimenting on her on how well she looked and felt. We were able to create an amazing transformation by supporting the organs that were struggling the most. Action steps. What is one thing you can do to support the organs that might be struggling in your body? Start implementing this one thing to support the organs. Chapter 10, Gut Health. All diseases begin in the gut. Hippocrates. It all starts with the gut. This may seem like a simple sentence. However, Dr. William Davis in Wheat Belly shows us that more than 70% of our immune system is located in the gut. This means that our health on the inside and outside, including physical and mental components, is primarily determined in the gut. This is a mic drop moment if there ever were one. For the last decade or so, we've known that it is important to take a probiotic with our daily vitamin, but we really didn't ever know why. We are starting to get a glimpse of just how powerful gut health really is. Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, author of Gut and Psychology Syndrome, explains that most diseases can be traced back to gut health. She believes that repairing the lining and overall health of the gut can lead to incredible improvements in the whole body overall health. Similarly, Dr. Alessio Fasano has spent the last several decades studying gut health, and in 2000, he and his colleagues discovered the protein zonulin, which can increase gut permeability and has also been found as a key player in the development of celiac disease. Probiotics have become a popular supplement because, as researchers are beginning to see, the strength of the digestive system is strongly reliant on the magnitude of bacteria that live in the gut. The more variety of bacteria in the gut, the better. Also, the number of good bugs and bad bugs matters. You can order tests online that tell you exactly what is living in your gut and how much of it there is. Although this is not a diagnostic tool in any way, it is starting to shine a light on what types of bacteria and how much of them live in healthy bodies. These test companies also allow you to submit your results to their extensive ongoing study on the human microbiome, the collection of microbes that live in the body. This research will continue to provide insight into the inner workings of the gut. Taking a probiotic is definitely a good place to start, but it is important to know why you are taking it. Beyond supplements, there are even more ways that you can help build the lining of your gut as well as improve your overall health. Gut health has been trending for the last few years because of that, new programs are being written all the time to help you heal your gut. While these gut health protocols are certainly a great place to start, the gut can also be an overwhelming place to heal. There is no one magic pill that heals years' worth of damage in the digestive system. As with all other areas in the body, healing the gut will take time and patience. The more we study the gut and its roles in the body, the more we understand how important it is to fix and protect this area. I have no doubt that over the next 20 years of research, you will continue to examine the relationship of gut and overall health. This is an area to pay attention to. If there are any other problems going on in the body, it may originate from a weak digestive system. Repairing the gut needs to first start with clean eating whole foods, getting quality sleep, managing stress, moving your body regularly, and a regimen for balancing the gut bacteria. It really is that simple. Action steps. This week, pay attention to how you feel after you eat each meal. Are there any signs that the food you're eating are not digesting properly? 2, keep a food diary for 5 to 7 days. There is one in the appendix or in the downloadable version. to see if you notice any patterns in the way that foods you are eating are making you feel.